You ever look at someone, and your brain just pauses for a second? Like, hold on, how old are they really? Because something's not adding up. It's not just their face. It's not even about wrinkles or smooth skin. It's something else. Something you feel before you even think. And here's the crazy part. Those people, they're not trying. They're not waking up every morning like, let me do my anti-aging routine. No, they're just living a certain way. And today, we're going to talk about those subtle things they do, the ones most people don't even notice. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because aging is not just physical. Some people age at 25, others stay alive at 60. Same years. Different energy. And if you've ever had someone tell you, you don't look your age, just know, they're not only talking about your appearance, they're reacting to something deeper, your presence, your lightness, your way of being. And honestly, a lot of people lose that along the way, not because they want to, but because life slowly teaches them to. Responsibilities, stress, disappointments, expectations, layer by layer, they become heavy, and heaviness shows. So let's talk about the people who somehow don't carry that weight. Habit 1. They stay curious. First thing, they stay curious. And I don't mean curiosity like, let me read books all day. I mean the way they approach life. They still ask questions. They still look at things like, that's interesting. They don't walk into every situation thinking they already know everything. Because the moment you feel like you know everything, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start aging fast. You've seen it. People who say things like, that's just how life is. People don't change. It is what it is. That energy, it closes you. But curious people, they stay open. They try new things. They laugh at random stuff. They're willing to look a little silly sometimes. And that right there, that keeps them light. That keeps them young. Because children are curious. And the people who look younger, they never fully lost that part of themselves. Habit 2. They don't hold emotional weight. Now this one is deep. They don't carry unnecessary emotional weight. And listen, this doesn't mean they've never been hurt. Oh, they have. But they don't live in it. They don't replay the same pain every day. They don't build their identity around what went wrong. Because that kind of weight, it shows on your face, in your voice, in your energy. You can feel it when someone walks into a room, heavy, tired, drained. But the people who look younger, they let things go. Not perfectly, but intentionally. They don't argue with the past forever. They don't hold grudges like trophies. They process, and they move. And that movement, that emotional freedom, it literally makes them feel lighter. And when you feel lighter, you look lighter too. Habit 3. They embrace change. Third thing, they don't fight change. They flow with it. Life shifts. People change. Situations end. And instead of saying, no, I want things exactly how they were, they adapt, they adjust, they evolve, because resisting change, that's exhausting. That tension builds up, and over time, it shows. But flexible people, they move like water. They don't break easily. They don't hold on to versions of life that no longer exist. And there's something about that keeps their spirit fresh, because they're always becoming, and becoming is a very youthful energy. Habit 4. They express themselves. Fourth, they express themselves freely, not perfectly, not for approval, but honestly. They laugh when something is funny. They speak when something matters. They don't hide everything they feel, because when you suppress yourself for too long, you start shrinking, and that shrinking, it drains you. But expressive people, they release. They don't bottle everything up. They don't pretend all the time. And that authenticity, It keeps their energy alive. You can see it in their eyes. They're present. They're real. They're not trying to be a version of themselves that fits into a box. And that freedom? It shows. Habit 5. They stay connected to themselves. And the 5th one. This might be the most important. They stay connected to themselves. Not the version people expect. Not the version they had to become to survive. But the real one. The quiet one. The one that feels things deeply. The one that knows when something is off. They listen to that part. They don't ignore it for too long. Because once you disconnect from yourself, you start living on autopilot. And autopilot, it drains your life force. But self-connected people, they check in, they pause, they realign. And that inner alignment, it creates peace. And peace has a very specific look, a very specific glow. Now here's the part most people don't talk about. A lot of people who look older than their age, it's not because of time, it's because of what they've been carrying, silently, for years, and no one sees it. But it shows, in the eyes, in the posture, in the way they respond to life. So this is not about judging anyone, it's about awareness. Because the moment you notice this, you start asking yourself, wait, what am I holding on to? Where did I stop being curious? When did I stop expressing myself? And those questions, they change things, slowly, quietly, but deeply. So when people say, you look younger than your age, maybe, just maybe, they're not just talking about what they see on the outside. They're responding to something they feel, something quiet, but powerful. Because there's a difference between someone who is just existing and someone who is still alive inside. And maybe what they're really noticing is that you didn't let life harden you the way it hardens most people. You didn't let every disappointment turn you cold. You didn't let every heartbreak close you off. You didn't let every bad experience convince you to stop feeling. And that's rare. Because the truth is, life has a way of slowly taking things from people. Not all at once, not in a dramatic way, but little by little. It takes their curiosity, it takes their softness, it takes their ability to trust, to feel, to be open, until one day they wake up and realize they don't recognize themselves anymore. They're functioning, but they're not really living. So when someone looks at you and says, you look younger than your age, what if what they're really saying is, you still have something most people lost, your openness, your lightness, your ability to start again without carrying everything from before, and maybe you didn't even notice you kept it. Because for you, it just feels normal, but for someone else, it stands out. It's refreshing. It's magnetic. And let's be real for a second. Not everyone who looks younger feels that way inside. Some people smile, but they're tired. Some people look fine, but they're carrying a lot. So this isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about something deeper. It's about whether you still allow yourself to feel life, without becoming bitter. Because that's the real shift. That's the real difference. And if you feel like, honestly, I used to be like that, but I'm not anymore, that's okay too. For real. Because this isn't something you either have or don't have forever. It's something you can return to, slowly, gently, not by forcing it, but by remembering. Remembering what it felt like to be curious again, to laugh without overthinking, to express yourself without filtering every little thing, to feel something, and not immediately shut it down. Because that version of you, it didn't disappear. It just got buried under expectations, under stress, under survival mode, and once you start peeling those layers back, even just a little, you'll notice something. You'll feel lighter, not overnight, not in some dramatic movie-like transformation, but in small ways, in the way you react, in the way you think, in the way you carry yourself, and those small shifts, they add up until one day someone looks at you, pauses for a second, and says it again. You look younger than your age. And this time, you'll understand why, not because of your face, but because of your energy, because of what you chose to keep, or what you had the courage to come back to. So now I'm really curious. Which one hit you the most? Like, really think about it for a second. Was it the curiosity? That part of you that used to explore, question, wonder? Or was it the emotional weight? The things you've been carrying that maybe you're ready to put down? Or maybe it's the self-connection, that quiet voice inside you that you haven't listened to in a while. There's no right answer here, just honesty. So don't just watch this and move on. Pause for a second, feel it, and then drop it in the comments. I actually read them, and more than that, people reading your comment might see themselves in your words. And sometimes, that's how change starts. Not from something big, not from something loud, but from a simple moment of truth. Someone saying, yeah, this is me. And in that moment, something shifts, quietly, deeply, in a way that stays with you. So don't overthink it. Just be real. I'll be there reading.